we are hearing about Google's parent company, Alphabet, which has announced that they are planning to cut around 12,000 jobs. That means nearly 6% of Google's workforce is getting sacked. And the CEO of the company, Google Sundar Pichai, in a note to employees has said that he takes full responsibility for that decision and that Google is going to be paying employees during the full notification period, also provide them with a severance package that starts with a 16-week salary plus 2 weeks for every additional year that has been spent at Google. Let's get you perspective on the kind of layoffs that we are seeing in the tech sector and this latest one coming in from Google as well. Sandeep Agarwal is joining us. Sandeep, good to have you this evening, but not great news for Google employees for sure. Now, this is the latest mega cap tech firm to announce a fresh round of layoffs. How deep do you think this problem with big tech runs, that we are seeing layoffs after layoffs? Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Twitter. Everywhere you look within big tech firms, the story is the same on layoffs.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. So I will put things in a different perspective. So if you see, what has happened is pre-COVID, there was a systematic growth which was happening. There was a particular rate at which everything was growing. And then during COVID, there were estimates of global GDP going down, which happened as well. And because of that, everyone even stopped recruiting the number of people they were normally recruiting. And then suddenly, because of work from home, and the way business started happening during COVID times, forceful or whatever, the demand for technology went through the roof and there was massive scarcity of talent. And because of that, there is a springboard impact in terms of recruitment also. If you would see old interviews of different tech people on your channel or other commercial channels in last one and a half year back, you will find that many of them were so much burdened with recruitment. The HR professionals were the highest burdened people. They were getting incentives for recruiting people. Now the recruitment went through the roof. People recruited 30-40% more people than they actually wanted, and in anticipation that there'll be a severe scarcity of manpower going forward also, and the demand was extremely strong. And then once COVID started receding and the fears of global recession started coming in, the clients also, started thinking to do critical things right now and take a little pause on something which could be postponed. And the effect of that, the demand, the discretionary part of the demand for the big techs started slowing down a bit. And because of that, they saw that whatever they have recruited, that is also higher than what they want. And this is the reason that we are seeing what we are seeing today. But I would also like to add that, you have to see the layoffs in terms of how many is the total strength. For example, if you see Amazon has laid off 18,000 people out of like million plus people they have. So I would not say that is a very big number, but in case of Alphabet and Microsoft, yes, it looks like a bigger number compared to their base. It looks like 6-7%. But I would say that, this is a very high recruitment which happened in fear of not getting manpower later on and in fear of visa restriction, other things. And now that is getting reversed to some extent.
Want to call it a correction, as it were. So not so much to worry about, according to what Sandeep is saying. But Sandeep, this week itself, we've also heard Microsoft speak about these recession worries, that these concerns are forcing Microsoft to cut those 10,000 jobs. And of course, 10,000 translates into less than 5% of its workforce. But still, I mean, it does grab headlines because Microsoft also has said it's going to focus on getting more AI, artificial intelligence, into its products. And it's a point that we heard Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai make as well. He's echoed that in that memo that came out. So in terms of orientation of the industry towards artificial intelligence, what does it mean for big tech jobs going ahead?
No, so I would put it in a different way. It is not that AI will replace a person. It will be that, a person knowing AI will replace another person. I will put it that way. Because that is what has happened always in technology. Technology has not replaced manpower. If you see the technology workforce for last 40 years CAGR, it is 1.5 to 2%. So, technology manpower has continuously gone up. It has not reduced. But what technology does is that it shifts from one person to another. Some people who were using maybe COBOL 10, 20, 15 years back, they may not be as relevant today. So it changes the manpower, means the skill set changes, but the overall technology number doesn't go down. This number which you are saying about layoff and all, this is, because in technology, you always do recruitment in 1 year advance, 1.5 year advance. If you go to engineering colleges in India, you will see the recruiters who are coming, they are coming for next year, at least 12 months, 15 months ahead. They want that workforce. So they are recruiting 12 to 15 months ahead. After 6, 7 months, those guys will go and join, and then they will undergo training of 6 months. That is the way it is being planned. So now what has happened is suddenly all these talks of recession and everything is coming, and people are finding that they are little overstaffed, particularly the big techs. So they are, right now laying off people, and I'm pretty sure that, in 2, 3 quarters or maybe 4 quarters time, they will again come and, recruit at the normal pace which they were doing pre-COVID.
Talking about recruitment on Indian campuses as well, how will the biggies in the Indian tech sector, how do you think they're going to do this year in 2023 compared to these big tech firms that we are talking about?
So if you see already, TCS CEO said on the call that our all plans are continuing the way we have thought. There is no change in our recruitment plan or anything. And while, there was small dip in net addition, but that is more seasonal because, big chunk came in the last quarter, fresh pass out and all campus people joined. So it is looking quarter on quarter little dip, but I don't think there'll be any challenge in terms of growth in manpower for Indian tech. Any which ways, outsourcing is always the cheapest mode of executing the most complex technology projects. So I don't expect there'll be layoffs in Indian IT. See, every year performance based and other issues, 2 to 3% of the tail always get cut. If that makes a headline, I would not read it so negatively.
Sandeep, those words are pretty reassuring. Thanks very much for helping us understand what's going on with big tech and perhaps what we can expect in the Indian IT sector as well. Pleasure getting in your views on this. Thanks.
Thank you.